Retro now.
Hey, this is Catherine Tabor, Senator Padme Amidala from Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Jay and Dennis on Podcast Stardust. Stay on the light side.
Hello there, Star Wars fans. Welcome back to Podcast Stardust, a fully armed and operational podcast. We are the galaxy source for Star Wars news, reviews, and discussion. I'm Jay Krebs.
And I'm Dennis Keithley.
And Dennis, before we jump in with this month's product finds, why don't you remind everyone where they can find us on social media?
All right. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Podcast Stardust.
All right. So today on episode 1021, we're bringing you our special monthly feature called World Between Worlds, a mystical dimension that connects Star Wars fashion and lifestyle products to your space and time. So the goal is to bring you a wide variety of ideas for products to surround you, outfit you, and bind your style sense together, kind of like the Force. So if this is your first World Between Worlds, welcome in. We've got a lot of things to share this month. And this month's roundup will focus on grabbing your gear to help you celebrate May the 4th, also known as Star Wars Day, as well as some ideas for the mother figure in your life. Mother's Day this year is on Sunday, May 10th. I'm really looking forward to that as a grandma this year as well. And with the release of Maul Shadow Lord on April 6th, I've also got a few more Maul merch ideas to add to our list from last month's World Between Worlds. So in our March edition, I had run down a whole bunch of Maul-inspired products. And so this is just going to add to it since we just got a chance to experience the glorious 2-episode premiere of Maul Shadow Lord. And you can check out our review on that in our episode that just launched last Friday. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going to start with all the May the 4th merch that's out there. Not all of it, obviously, but just some fun things. So there's one other day that kind of coincides with May the 4th through Disney, and that is Dapper Day. So I know we have a lot of Disney fans that attend the parks and that are key holders or go a lot or just love the Disney parks. So Dapper Day is going to be celebrated this year at Disney World on May 2nd at Epcot and May 3rd at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So Dapper Day is just a really fun day to kind of do a lot of Disney bounding, but on a deeper level, I guess you could say. And I personally would love to experience a Dapper Day event at some point because all of the outfits just look so much fun. So you can double these up for Dapper Day as well as May the 4th if you want to. And so this first company that I want to talk about is called Retro Stage. And I've been actually familiar with this company for quite a long time. I purchased a flapper outfit back in 2019. We had a 1920s New Year's Eve party because, of course, 2020 was coming. And so I love the 1920s era of clothing. And so that was my first purchase. And I was able to get like all the accessories, the shoes, the headband, the gloves, like everything from them. And what they do is they actually specialize in different decades of fashion. So they have everything from the 1920s, you can go by decades. So 20s, 30s, 40s, all the way up to some of the modern styles. And mostly dresses, but they also have pantsuits. And like I said, they have accessories. They have even swimsuits in some decades, in some cases. And so I've never been disappointed with anything that I've gotten. I actually purchased a 1950s style dress that I wore to my son's graduation as well a few years back. So I happened to get an ad from them on Instagram that they have some Padme inspired dresses. So these are actually listed in their Dapper Day apparel section. So if you just click on, the link that we have in our show notes for Retro Stage, or go directly to retro-stage.com and search for Dapper Day apparel, you will get about 20 pages of all kinds of different ideas that you can style, from everything from the Frozen franchise to Beetlejuice to Snow White to all the Disney princesses. And there's just tons and tons of things. So the Padme inspired dresses that they have, there's actually a few. So this first one just dropped April 13th. So we're talking about, just like a couple of days ago as of the drop of this episode of the podcast. So this is a Naboo lake dress inspired dress, and it's called the 1940s ombre deep v-neck halter dress. And this one is selling for $34.99. So as you can guess, this has all of the beautiful pastel colors that Padme wears on Naboo at the lake. And it has a flowing skirt and some vintage pastoral elegance. It's the perfect dress for daytime social events, brunch weddings, outdoor parties, retro teas, things like that. Definitely leans more dressy everyday to a semi-formal, not quite a cocktail dress, which tends to be a little shorter and edgier. And I definitely have something that fits that bill here in just a second, but not black tie formal. Though, so you can think garden party, bridal shower, daytime ceremony, or luncheon event. So I would call the vibe on this one a classic vintage glamour with soft movement and subtle detailing. So it's just a beautiful interpretation of that ombre look of Padme's lake dress. And for $34.99, very, very good price on that one for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you're looking for something a bit more modern and form-fitting, we're going to jump to the 1960s now. So you can pick up a strapless gradient ruched bodycon dress with scarf. So this one is definitely a lot more of that cocktail vibe that I was just talking about. And I actually just recently learned what bodycon means. And the defining feature is a tight figure-hugging silhouette that emphasizes shape. And this is typical of just bodycon styles. I thought bodycon was a brand name because my niece wears bodycon dresses, but it's a style. So I learned something. And so it makes the silhouette a lot more modern and evening ready. And so the ruching effect on this one is like a gathered effect almost on it. And it's definitely, like I said, more cocktail oriented kind of evening dress because it's just above the knee. But it does have an included scarf that adds kind of a vintage inspired glam / mod vibe that you often see on 1960s cocktail dresses and evening outfits. So you could definitely style this one up with shoes and accessories because, you've got the strapless sheath style that's definitely intended for evening social events. So isn't this one fun? I wish I was young again because this one's gorgeous. Quite honestly, like if I was in my 20s, I would totally pick this one up to be able to wear out and about to the clubs, that kind of thing. But it's on sale for $41.99 right now, down from $70.99. And with all of these, there are different measurements and size charts and things like that, very specific. So they even have you measure things like your shoulder width to get exactly the kind of fit that you need. And both of these dresses, I should point out, are made from 100% polyester. So they're very easy to maintain and they won't wrinkle like a lot of the other types of, dresses that you might find. And they're also machine washable. Hand washing is recommended, but like I said, with my my flapper dress, I have not put that one in the washer, obviously, because of all the beading.
Right.
But my other dress is very, very user friendly in that way. So that's actually really nice. And then I have one more too. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, to say these are both these are fun looking here. I really like the way that they've captured Padme's style and made it something practical, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. So everyday kind of thing. And we've talked about that, a ton of times before, is bringing your Star Wars fandom into the everyday without it being like so in your face. I mean, obviously this one is just iconic. So anybody that knows Padme's lake dress is going to look at it and go, uh-huh, I see what you did there. But, I mean, overall, it just looks like a really pretty pastel gradient type of ombre dress in both cases. However, if you want something that is more of the real deal cosplay quality, I was actually kind of surprised that they had this one, but they categorize it as a 1980s Star Wars Amidala ombre gradient dress. So this one actually has all the bells and whistles, so to speak, of what Padme actually wore. So we're talking about everything from the armbands to the way that the scarf drapes in the back to the neck piece, the way that it's cut, the colors, everything. And right now this one is actually way down from $208.99 to $99.99. So it actually has the dress, the armbands, and a hair tie that comes with it. So once again, this one's even machine washable, although I don't know that I would do that with this one. But I just thought, as far as a cosplay light kind of thing, I mean, if you're looking to get into Rebel Legion, you're definitely not going to do that with this dress, obviously. But if you're going to Celebration, if you're going to a theme party, if you're going to anything where you really want to experience that look, this is definitely it. So I was just really impressed that they had this. And anything that you get, if you have $69 or more, you can get free shipping with the code. Here it comes, all uppercase R sale 6. So all one word, RSALE, the number 6. But I will tell you, one of the things is that with Retro Stage, because they do ship from overseas, if you want these, you're going to have to order it like now if you want it for Dapper Day or May the 4th, because a lot of times they take about 2 to 3 weeks on their shipping. But I've never been disappointed with the quality. So it's just one of those things that you kind of have to plan ahead just a little bit more if you really want to get it.
What makes this 80s?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not the only one then.
Yep, exactly. I know, that's why I was like, that was an interesting decade to put it into. The only thing that I can think of is just because it kind of has the metallic look, that was popular in some of the, different genres of the 80s kind of thing, kind of that vibe. But that's a
Sure.
great question that I don't have the answer to, Dennis.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it wasn't just sailing over my head.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on then to some direct May the 4th type merch, as well as some other fun things online. So the Disney Store online always has tons of things. This year, they're doing something a little bit different that I haven't seen them do before. They are dropping several sets of merch collections. So it's going to encourage fans to keep coming back for more. So here are the collections and their drop dates. And there's a lot of them. So I want to make sure that we get through these, not quickly, but quickly enough, because we've got some other things to get through, but I want to give them some attention here as well. So the first collection that's coming out is, or just came out, I should say, is the Star Wars May the 4th logo collection. And this one launched April 4th on the disneystore.com. And the theme is celebrating Star Wars Day with a unified logo and classic characters, especially from the Mandalorian era. So what's included? There's themed apparel. So there's all cotton t-shirts, adults and kids, zip hoodies featuring the 2026 logo for this year for the May the 4th and different characters. Some accessories include a May the 4th hat, a tote bag, and a collector pin. And logo swag, perfect for everyday wear and Star Wars Day celebrations. So this drop definitely sets the stage for the countdown. It has a mix of classic wearable gear and collectible pins tied directly to May the 4th. And I'm going to talk specifically about 2 of those pins here in just a little bit. Secondly, we have the Endor collection, which just launched April 10th. And the theme on this one is inspired by the forest moon of Endor and the beloved Ewoks. So, what's going to be included with this one? Endor spirit jerseys and baseball jerseys. So, these are adult fan wearable with an athletic twist. The Ewoks Loungefly mini backpack, which is a themed accessory for collectors and fans on the go. An Ewoks ear headband for adults, playful character inspired headgear, and a Starbucks Endor travel tumbler. So this is themed drinkware with the Ewok motif. So all of these are obviously nature inspired color palettes, Endor, obviously, and some cozy fan gear, perfect for fans who love Return of the Jedi vibes. The third collection that's coming out on April 17th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So this one's coming up here in just a couple of days. The theme on this one is classic Empire aesthetics and stormtrooper centric designs. So here's what's expected. So the thing of it is with these that haven't launched yet, full details haven't been revealed, but this capsule will likely feature stormtrooper apparel, accessories, and collectible items such as themed tees, hats, bags, or pins that celebrate the iconic Imperial soldiers. So if you're looking for a great mix of cosplay-friendly pieces and lifestyle gear for fans of the Empire, I think this is going to be it. And I'm such a sucker for stormtrooper stuff. Why? I don't know, but it seems like I'm drawn to that black and white aesthetic. That and anything with Chewbacca on it, I've noticed that I just can't seem to get enough of. So that one's coming out April 17th. And then fourth, we have the Jerseys collection, and this one will be launching April 24th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And the theme on this one is intergalactic athletic style. So these are jerseys and sport-inspired looks from across the Star Wars universe. And what's likely included here, various spirit jerseys, baseball-style tops, sport tees, and fan jerseys featuring Star Wars teams and artwork. So this is going to be ideal for fans who want a sporty twist on fandom. And I think this is going to add a fresh activewear vibe to Star Wars merch, perfect for everyday fan fashion. I love spirit jerseys, just got to say. And then last but not least, we have our pod racing collection, which is launching May 1st at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So the theme on this one is high-speed action inspired by pod racing moments from The Phantom Menace, of course. And what's likely included on this one? Obviously, pod racing themed pieces such as tees, hats, accessories, collectible pins, and unique sporty merch celebrating this iconic adrenaline-fueled part of the saga. So it's kind of a fun finale to the weekly drops, that perfect tie-in right before Star Wars Day itself. So out of these collections, which one would you pick to be most excited about? What do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. For me, the two that stand out would be the May the Fourth logo collection. I bought things from that collection in years past. Um, I've kind of stopped because I've found that I'm good with just a couple May the Fourth shirts. I don't need a whole bunch of it, even if they put an updated year on that. But the Stormtrooper collection also sounds pretty cool. So those are the two that I'd be looking at the closest, I think. Um, I just like with the May the 4th collection that over the years, they've been very consistent with that style and at least the writing on it. So it very much is of a piece and a collection. And so even though I'm kind of like, I've reduced the amount that I bought of it, it just looks like it fits
Mm-hmm.
in my collection of stuff.
No, I completely understand, and I agree with you too. I do love the fact that the new May the 4th, 2026 shirt, the back of it is so cool. So like I was saying, it has that Mandalorian theme to it,
Yeah.
and so if you look at the back, you've got your key characters from The Mandalorian, and it's got a really cool graphic logo on the back of it as well. And because I don't know if I remember past dated apparel having such a graphic design on the back. I think it's isn't it always just been on the front?
Usually, yeah. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think. I don't think most of my stuff has anything on the back. It's usually just the front.
Mhm.
Now, I personally prefer just having my graphics on the front of the shirt,
Mhm.
especially since a lot of my graphic tees I wear with like a hoodie or something, so I can just leave it open and everyone can see what's on the shirt. I don't have to take it off to
Mhm.
see the back. But anyway, that's just my preference.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally understand that. And, and I've got so many t-shirts anymore that like I need another one, like I need a hole in the head really, but they have tote bags, which is super cool. And the tote bags actually have the logo that the kids shirt has on it. So what I love about the tote bag is that you've got the four key characters from The Mandalorian kind of back to back almost with some key art in the center of the Mandalorian and the Mythosaur skull down the middle. And that's what's featured on the tote bag, which is really cool. And then the baseball cap has the Mandalorian, and then there's also a Mythosaur skull embroidered on the side of it, which I'm really digging as well. So they're really leaning into the Mandalorian and Grogu this year, obviously because of the release of the movie just a few weeks later. So that's a lot of fun. And then the two pins that I was talking about, there is a limited edition Bo-Katan Kryze May the 4th Be With You 2026 pin for subscribers, which is actually dropping tomorrow, April 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you are a subscriber, you can pick one of these up while quantities last. And so get on that one if you can, especially if you're a pin collector. But if you're not a subscriber and you still want to get yourself a 2026 May the 4th pin, there is an Ahsoka Tano May the 4th Be With You. And that one has a limit of 2. So you've got a couple choices either way. And if you're a subscriber, heck, you can pick up both pins, which is kind of a bummer because I really like that Bo-Katan Kryze pin, but I'll always take Ahsoka Tano whenever I can get it. But are you a subscriber
Subscribe to what exactly?
to the disneystore.com?
No,
Like if
I
you,
am not.
okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that they had a subscription. That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I guess it'd be
I
easy to do. You just sign up.
yeah, I here's the thing. I'm not wild about this Ahsoka pen because it's the face. It does not look that much like Ahsoka to me. I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, the
Yeah. It's a
Bo-Katan one is
little,
really great, but
mhm.
this is maybe a bit too masculine, I think. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the shading, the way that
Mhm.
her face is on the one side, but I totally agree with you. It doesn't really hit the mark as much as the Bo-Katan one is, and that's why I was like, "Oh, I'd really love to have that one because that's super cool." But it is what it is, I suppose. But what's also really cool about this new collection of the new drop releases is we were just talking about Maul, and there's a Devon Azara Legacy lightsaber hilt that's available. And that's $275. So if you really are into Devon's character, you can pick that one up here too, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And if you spend that much money, because $85 or more spent, if you use the code SHIPMAGIC, all caps, you can get free shipping too. That's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
So lots and lots of fun stuff for May the 4th, for sure. All right. So if you're looking for some party ideas, though, for May the 4th, the fun never stops. So the official Star Wars website always has some great stuff. So there's actually a fun little video by Galactic Living. And this is showcasing some fun ideas for the May the 4th snacks and party tips. And they've got a couple little Jawas there that's doing some fun things.
Making
And there's
dessert in a
always,
stormtrooper
yeah.
helmet. Yeah, that's
I know, I love that. There's always ideas galore too if you simply search for recipes on the site. So you can get all kinds of different ideas for fun things there. And then I ran into this one on Amazon. It's an oldie but a goodie. The publishing date on this one, which I think is very interesting, Dennis, is 1994 because The Phantom Menace didn't come out until 1999, but this was published 5 years in advance according to Amazon, and I don't know if that's a misprint or what, but there's a cookbook called The Star Wars Cookbook 2: Darth Malt and More Galactic Recipes. So this also ties in nicely with our mall madness as of late. So it mostly features the Phantom Menace character inspired recipes, but there's some really fun ones in here. So some of the drinks are, like I said, the Darth Malt, which is a dark milkshake, can't even talk, milkshake slash slush. Wow, that was a hard one. Sith slush, Sebulba's sinister cider, whew, a midichlorian concoction, and then you've got some other savory and sweet things. There's a Darth Double Dogs, Opie's Sea Crunch, Panaka Cakes. That one's fun. And Hideous Sidious Sorbet. And then there's also a little decorating. So the book includes a plastic stencil of Darth Maul for decorating. So help me out. 1994 publishing date, but the Phantom Menace didn't come out till 99.
Yeah, if you look at the website, though, the author is listed by AA.
Okay.
That's not the author of the book. I think this is a third-party reseller because it's only got 3 ratings as well for something that's been out for a long time. So, I mean, the real author is listed below, followed by Frankie, I think Frankini is what they said there. So, I think this is a third-party seller that misinput the information there. I mean, there's one left in stock. So I think this is just maybe a resale of that particular book that you found on Amazon.
I'm sure it probably was. And I'm sure that this is available on places like eBay. Maybe you can pick it up from your local library. You never know. So I'm going to have to try that actually. So I'll let you know if I actually find it because I love checking books out of my local library, and I wonder if they actually have this one because I want to check it out. You know me and my Star Wars cookbooks. I'm such a geek that way. I love them. Speaking of Star Wars food, this one I kind of found by accident, but I think it just fits so well with any kind of Star Wars themed party that you might have. And it's not directly a Star Wars recipe, but it's actually called Halloween Midnight Galaxy Fudge. But if you look at the picture, the words galaxy fudge say it all. And this is just the most beautiful fudge I've ever seen in my life. So it's your black, like really dark chocolate. And then it has white chocolate that's been colored with purples and blues and swirled into a marble kind of concoction. And then it has edible gold dust on top of it. Beautiful. And it's only 150 to 170 calories, depending on how thickly you slice it, according to the recipe. So it's even a guilt-free fudge, if you want to look at it that way. But isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, it is beautiful. This is something I could see them like serving at the parks for Star Wars and Galaxy's Edge or something. This fits right in with their photo-worthy, Instagram-worthy type of desserts that they sell at the theme parks.
And I'm telling you what, the ingredients aren't like very hard to find either. They're pretty basic kinds of things. So I'm gonna have to try this one out, not gonna lie. And I will this is going to be my mission for May the 4th, and then I'll post pictures. So there you go. And last but not least for this particular, area, well, not quite last but not least, but as far as the food and drinks go, we've got Beeline Creative, of course, Geeky Tiki's, and they have a whole collection of drink recipes on the blog section of their website. So if you're looking for a fun way to drink it up, fuzzball, that's going to be the place. So if you're having a May the 4th party, there you go. So there is one more food related thing that I just saw that came across my Instagram line a few days ago. And we have all seen the Star Wars themed Oreos. Well, Oreo is back with these special edition gift boxes. And this one is called the Oreoid. I'm assuming it's kind of like droid, play on words, maybe. But it's a special edition Star Wars 12-pack of cookies. And these aren't your just everyday Oreos. These actually have a 12-count box filled with fudge dipped and sprinkled classic Oreo sandwich cookies that boast a variety of Star Wars themed designs. So they have Yoda, Leia, Han Solo. There's one that says, "May the Force be with you." There's a Boba Fett, a Stormtrooper, the regular Star Wars logo, all kinds of fun things. Darth Vader, of course, one that says the Team Dark Side, and so on and so forth. So if you're looking, once again, for something fun for May the 4th or just in general, you can pick this up over on Oreo.com. And I was looking through a bunch of their special edition kinds of things. And this one actually comes in a really cool box, and it's got some even foil accents and things on the logos and whatnot, which is a lot of fun. But they do have a Mother's Day fudge and fudge dipped boxes. There's a couple different ones, not Star Wars, obviously, but we were just talking about Mother's Day is coming up, and a Disney princess one as well. So all kinds of fun things. And this one is selling right now for $42.99. So a little pricey for a box of 12 cookies, especially.
Yeah, more than $3 for Oreo. That's something.
Exactly. So, but if you're willing to splurge, I guess it's a lot of fun. I've never had that specific type of fudge dipped Oreo from the company. I mean, I've had people that have obviously taken Oreos and dipped them themselves and covered them in chocolate and that type of thing. But have you ever had their special edition ones?
Not decorated, but I've had fudge dipped Oreos from the store
Mhm.
before, and they're fine. But honestly, I like dipping my Oreos in milk, so I'd rather just not have them dipped in the fudge.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel that. Have you ever had a deep fried Oreo?
Yes, it's fine. I look, that fair type food
Uh-huh.
is fun, but it's also like an expensive tummy ache
Yeah.
when it comes down to it. So
It is.
it's so I tend to avoid that. I don't typically go to the state fair because it's what are they frying this year, and
Right.
um, so yeah, I mean it's you eat one and you're good. And
Mhm.
so that's my advice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We have so many county fairs here, that we go to just back to back to back all summer long, and you have to really pick and choose. You can literally deep fry anything, though. There's actually deep fried butter. Crazy
I've
enough.
seen that, and I've never had it, and I know there's got to be a trick to it, and I don't want to get off on this tangent, but how do you deep fry butter without just melting the butter into your grease? So
Well,
yeah,
it's kind of like, fried ice cream. It's got to be pretty much frozen when you start. So there you have it.
okay, well, it's I'm gonna save my fair coupons for something else, I think,
There you
but
go. I don't
yeah.
blame you. All right. So from fair food to Mother's Day, let's go ahead and move on. So I've got all kinds of really fun ideas for Mother's Day. And I'm going to tell you right now, Dennis, there's so many of these that I was so tempted to be like, I want this right now. But I was good and I didn't. So I found a new company that once again came across my Instagram, which what would we do without Instagram these days? But it's a company called Mad Beauty. And so there is an official site that when you go straight from their Instagram, that will take you to, but they ship from the UK and everything is in pounds, which of course you could go ahead and convert and you could wait for that shipping and that type of thing. But I did find an Amazon store that has some of the Mad Beauty sites or products on it from their site. Not all of them though, but I did pick out a few of them that you can get here in the States. But if you're willing to go to directly to Mad Beauty, these are also there. So there's a few that they have from Mad Beauty. So the first one is the Mandalorian or the Grogu and child, I should say, coconut under eye masks. And I love me some under eye masks, to get those dark circles and those puffy eyes kind of thing. And so this one is actually coconut and aloe. And so these are just a really fun little set for $12.95 that you can give to mom. And then the second one is the Grogu Lip Balm Duo Set. So this one is very similar to a lot of the really popular round lip balms that you see out there anymore. So one is Grogu's Pram and the other one is Grogu himself. And so this one is selling for $15.95 and you get one cherry and one apple flavored with this one. So if you like those flavors, there you go. And then the next one is the Grogu body and hand wash soap pump. And so it's just a little, soap pumper kind of thing. And it is scented with cedarwood and lime. So you can use this one, just every day. You can put it out for May the 4th, just a cute little Grogu soap pump. And then there's the Grogu plush headband. And again, all of these are Mad Beauty. I love me a good headband. And I usually use like just a babushka kind of thing when I'm washing my face or putting my makeup on. But this one's kind of a plushy headband. And just so it just would be a little bit more fun, to add some Grogu to your life when you're washing your face or that type of thing. And this one's also selling for $15.95 on Amazon. Once again, that Mad Beauty. So fun things from them. And again, if you want to check out their full line of things, you can go directly to their website. And then there's some other fun beauty finds on Amazon as well. So once again, kind of keeping with the theme of Grogu and the Mandalorian, I found some Grogu makeup brushes. So they call these Baby Yoda makeup brushes on the page. And these are provided by KF Ornaments. And so these are really cute. So there's, they're not necessarily professional grade. I mean, if you're really picky about your makeup brushes, I don't know if these are necessarily like the high end kind of thing, but it's a lot of fun. And so you get some face blenders, some of your bigger type brushes, and then you also get some of the eye type things for foundation, blush, eyeshadow, everyday use. You can use them for liquids, powders, creams, that type of thing. And it's cute because they have like a rose gold metallic type of handles to them. And then they have the additional little enamel Grogus in various poses. So you see him in his pram, in his little robe, with his little bowl of soup, and all kinds of fun little things. So that one's kind of fun as well. And then moving on to a makeup bag, we have this one's provided by a company called Poful on Amazon, Pofull. And this one is The Force is Female. So hashtag The Force is Female. And it has all of the little hairdos of some of our favorite ladies in Star Wars. And except for Ahsoka, it's actually her headdress. So we have Ahsoka, we have Rey, we have Padme, we have another Leia, and then what's that one off to the side? Do you know who that is? I can't figure out who that is. Who would you say that is?
See. Leia. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because it doesn't say who that is like representing, but it's really long hair off to one side. So I don't know, but it's pretty.
Yeah.
I'll have to maybe look into that just a little bit more because I was like, oh, that's cute. But then I'm thinking, oh, who is that? But at any rate, okay, this next one, this is mainly for me because at home, whenever I'm in the kitchen, especially if I'm cooking or if I'm cleaning or whatever, I tend to get a little overheated. So the first thing I want to do is actually grab a pencil out of our little catch-all kind of thing that's sitting on the top of our countertop, and I'll wrap up my hair and I'll stick the pencil down inside my little bun. So these are the Star Wars Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader lightsaber hairpin sticks. So it's basically like chopsticks, and I'm sure you've seen women that have put their hair up in chopsticks, but this is perfect because it's basically like my pencils that I use that I can just zoop and then put my hair right up, and then I'm feeling better. So these are on sale once again on Amazon.com for $16.99. So you get one green and one red. So once again, Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi and Darth Vader. Very cool. And then we have a Grogu robe. So if you want mom to be lounging around with a fun little robe, this one is provided on Amazon by Richard Leeds, Leeds, selling for $19.95. And it's a soft little kind of plushy robe, cream colored with little Grogu heads all over it. And it's got a satin little lining around the edge of the robe and a tie in the front. So it's about knee length, I would say. 100% polyester on this one. And once again, $19.95. And of course, you have to have some slipper socks to go with it. I love me the slipper socks. So these are adult size women Mandalorian teddy fur slipper socks. And it's got a little pink inside faux fur kind of thing that's super plushy. And then it's got that really thick sock material with Grogu on it for $9.33. down 10% right now. And then the last thing that I found on Amazon that I thought would be a fun little gift for mom is called the Star Wars, The Tiny Book of Legendary Women. So it's listed under geeky gifts for women. And so it has little tiny book of quotes from the galaxy's greatest Jedi, villains, scoundrels, and more. So beloved moments in the palm of your hand is what it's called. So it has quotes from Leia Organa, Rey Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Fennec Shand, and Bo-Katan Kryze, Rose Tico, Jyn Erso, Dr. Aphra. There you go, Dennis.
Yep.
Grand Admiral Ray Sloan, and more. So they're really going deep in the woods on some of these characters here, but it literally is tiny. So it fits in the palm of your hand. It's 1.34 inches by 1.73 inches. So very small, but it's so cute. And I've seen some of these tiny books before, but I've never seen any quite like this one. So I just think that's such a unique little gift. I love it.
Yeah.
And then, on Etsy, there's some fun t-shirts. Like I said, I don't really need any more t-shirts, but a couple of these I just thought were so cute. So the first one is called Retro Coquette Star Wars t-shirt. So if you're familiar with the KYE style of art, that's what this one is formed after. And this one is by Wow a Print Paradise on Etsy. So never fear, all of these links will be in our show notes, so you're good to go. But this one has so many fun little design things on it. It's got some pastel frames, kind of very old Victorian looking, and it's got a stormtrooper head with a little bow on it. It has a couple of little vintage frame types of things, almost like those lockets that you open up with the heart, and you can put pictures on either side of it. So on one side it has an Ewok, the other side it has a Loth cat. Then it has a May the Force be with you in beads, like those really popular bracelets that people make for each other with the names and things like that. It's got an AT-AT, R2-D2 in a little frame, just some really fun things on it, a couple of other iconic things as well. And it's all pastel colors. So it's a very fun little aesthetic type thing. And it's basically selling for anywhere from, like, depending on what you get. So there's comfort colors, which is what Hobby Lobby sells for their t-shirts. I know they have Bella Canvas t-shirts, youth sizes, adult sizes, that type of thing. So right around the $24 mark for this particular t-shirt, depending upon what kind of shirt you get. Then there's also a floral lightsaber t-shirt. This is the one that I really had trouble not clicking on for myself. So it's got 4 different lightsaber hilts, and they are vertical. And instead of the actual lightsaber coming out of the laser sword emitter area, there's flowers, and they're just so cute. So you can have your choice of picking different types of colors to put it on as well. So if you're looking for anything from like a dark gray heather all the way to a maroon, even orange, light pink, forest green, mint colors, anything, so you could pick out your favorite color, pink, anything you want on that one. And so that's a lot of fun. Once again, you've got your choice of different types of t-shirts as well. And then there is a fun little acrylic gift that I found on Etsy as well called Best Mom in the Galaxy. So this is a personalized Star Wars acrylic plaque. And so you can customize this and personalize it with the kids' names on it. And it's super cute. So it's got the Death Star in the background, and then it says Mommy, and Leia is sitting on the middle M in Mommy with her legs crossed. And then you can put different little figurines around the acrylic base and next to her as well. And then you can put their little names of the kids. So I just thought that was a lot of fun. And that one is anywhere from around $22 to about $33, depending upon how big you want to get that. And that one is by Tim Schwetzy Fashion. I'm sorry, Tim, if I butchered your last name there, but once again, link in our show notes because Dennis does a great job on that. And then last but not least, for the Mother's Day finds on Etsy, there is a nail wrap set available by HK Designs. And way back in the day, I think it was when I was doing blogs for Coffee with Kenobi, and I had my blog, monthly blog over there, I had some nail wraps and I love them. I just think they're so much fun. So they're basically like press on stickers almost. And then you file off the edge and they typically stay in place, at least the ones that I have, for a couple weeks, depending upon what you do, with your hands. But I was washing dishes a lot and I was teaching and I was washing my hands like 10 times a day, I felt like, and they stayed in place pretty well. So I'm not sure how these necessarily would hold up, but HK Designs actually has a few different designs to pick from. So there's a general Star Wars set that has the Star Wars logo on a star field, Chewbacca, some lightsabers, R2D2, Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, BB-8, that type of thing. And then they also have one specifically called The Child. So if you're getting ready also for the Mandalorian and Grogu premiere and you want some really fun Baby Yoda or Grogu designs, then you can head that up over there, and some really fun, even green glittery kinds of things. And they're only like $10 a set, which I thought was a really good price as well. So I know I've said a lot here, Dennis. Is there anything under the Mother's Day stuff that anyone that you know in your life might be interested in?
Well, there's a lot of good ideas here and stuff. You were very thorough, for sure on this. Yeah, I don't know that I got anyone specific here, but like I said, I do like the variety you've got here, from the makeup to the robes and shirts and stuff. I think there's definitely, for if you got a Star Wars fan, loving mom that is into this type of thing, you got them set up.
Thanks. And I was actually pretty impressed with the amount of Star Wars stuff for women that I found, because a lot of times you can find tons of things for Father's Day, but you can't really find a whole lot for Mother's Day. And I'm like, well, there's Star Wars moms out there too. But obviously, some of these things aren't directly Mother's Day marketed, but they can definitely work for that purpose. That's for sure. So, last here on our list, as I said, I've got a few more mall things. And so I've got a couple updates, first of all. So last month we talked about the Diff Eyewear Mall sunglasses, and these are actually on a price drop right now. So they are currently available for $79. So if you listened to last month's World Between Worlds, Diff Eyewear is something that we've talked about lots of times on the show, and they really have some great quality eyewear. And these particular sunglasses are a lot of fun. They have the marble look to them with the black and red. So if you're interested in that, like I said, those have come down in price. And then I had talked about the Loungefly Darth Maul Roses Slouch Mini Backpack, and this was available at Hot Topic, currently out of stock at Hot Topic, according to their website. But I did actually get to see one of these in person at a shop locally to me, and it is so nice. Not surprising, because Loungefly always knocks it out of the park with their designs, but seeing this in person is such a different kind of feeling than seeing it online. It's just really exquisite with the detail that they put into the embroidery and everything like that. So if anybody's got their eye on this one, I would definitely suggest it. And then I've got a couple new things for some mall ideas. So Heroes and Villains brand just dropped some new designs on their website. So you can go shop at the mall over there on Heroes and Villains. But they have a few new t-shirts, and there's also a couple of Darth Talon designs that are new, listed in their new designs as well. So I thought that was really cool. I'm loving this Darth Maul hoodie. Probably not something that I personally would wear, but I just think it's really cool. It's got a double colored sleeve, so about halfway on the elbow, cut at an angle. It goes from like a dark gray to red, and then it's got Darth Maul in Aurebesh on the back with his face kind of dripping, with those colors and things. And it's got a really cool little patch on the front as well. So if you're looking for a sweatshirt, that's probably a pretty cool one. And then superherostuff.com has a bunch of mall things as well. And so mainly t-shirts, but the one thing that really sparked my interest, I think this would scare the heck out of me if I actually had it in my office, but I'm very tempted. It's the Star Wars Darth Maul mask wall mountable light. And so it's 8.7 inches of nothing but Maul's visage, and it actually lights up as a lamp. So, like I said, kind of scary almost in some ways, but it actually only uses like a battery. Also comes with a stand. So if you don't want to put it on your wall, you can actually just put it on this acrylic stand and you can have this really cool Darth Maul lamp just looking at you. A lot of fun. And then at Box Lunch, there's some things that are available as well. And so, there's just so many different mall merch out there. And they also have the Funko Pop. So Rookcast Funko Pop is available over there. Tons of different t-shirts available, some sweatshirts as well. And then the last thing that I have for mall, I always like to include at least one high-end piece of merch every once and again. This one I saw
Ooh,
on Vanessa Marshall's, yeah, Instagram. She had this one on her story. And these are custom tennis shoes that a merchant by the name of Mr. Simply Customs reinterprets into, different types of things. So there is a Darth Maul Star Wars low top Nike tennis shoe available as either Air Jordan 1s, Air Force 1s, or they also have the Dunk Low styles for, you want to tell everybody, Dennis?
$316.40. I'm sorry, $319.46.
Yeah, what's $3 extra? Yeah,
Yeah.
$320 for a pair of tennis shoes. But they are super cool. So the description on the website says, introducing the Star Wars unique and stylish custom design of the classic Dunk Low, intricate designs inspired by Darth Maul. So it is pretty cool. Those Air Force Ones are sweet, I have to say. I have a affinity for Air Force Ones. There's just something about them and they're gorgeous. So yeah, so if you go to mrsimplycustom.store, you can pick this one up. There's a bunch of really fun custom shoes here too. So there's a ready stock that you can check out that's got a whole bunch of different types of things, some new releases, and then you can also do your own commissions. So if you want to get something specific to yourself, check out Mr. Simply Customs. There you go. You in the market for some mall custom shoes, Dennis?
No, those are great. Those really impressive looking, but I wear out my shoes so quickly that it would be hard for me to get my value out of that
Yeah.
because I would have those worn out within a month or so. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel that. This would be something that I think Sam Witwer would rock
oh
at
yeah,
somewhere like Celebration. He needs a pair of these for sure. Let's get him up on the phone.
there you go.
There you go. Just speed dial him, because of course I have him on speed dial. Ha ha ha. All right. Well, there you go, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode and found some really fun ideas for May the 4th, Dapper Day, Mother's Day, and just mall in general. And just want to thank you all for joining us for this episode of Podcast Stardust and this episode of World Between Worlds for April of 2026. And before we go, just want to let you know that you can subscribe to a bunch of amazing shows over on Retro's app. And we certainly hope that you enjoyed this discussion. You can subscribe to us as well as some other great shows, as I mentioned. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Case Files, Animaniacast, Brews and Blasters, Dork Lair, Dunecast, Enjoy Stuff, and much, much more. All of our episodes are available on retrozapp.com, and we would appreciate it if you would rate and subscribe, especially if that is on Apple Podcasts, because that one just seems to bump us up those algorithms a little bit more. But we'll definitely take your ratings and reviews anywhere that you are willing to get them. So before we go, can you remind everybody, Dennis, where our social media contacts are one more time?
Sure, we are on Facebook and Instagram at Podcast Stardust. We have some boards set up over on Pinterest. You can find the show in audio format on YouTube and YouTube Music. If you've got something longer to say, feel free to email us at podcastartist@gmail.com. And then if you're looking for your Podcast Artist t-shirt or some other merch, head over to TeePublic. I'll have a link in the show notes for that as well. Jay, what do you got going on in cosplay?
All right. Well, you can always find me on my Instagram at j.snipscosplay, mostly as Ahsoka these days. I do have a couple of events coming up this spring, one for May the 4th, actually. It's May the 3rd, but I will be talking a little bit more about that as the time draws nearer. So once again, that's at j.snipscosplay. So coming up on the show this Friday, we have another edition of our Maul Shadow Lord discussion and breakdown. We're super excited for that one. On Monday, we're getting back into some Star Wars news. And then next Wednesday, the plan is our Force Awakens discussion for our episode breakdown of the segments of the movie throughout this year. So thanks for listening to episode 1021, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And until next time, may the Force of Star Wars fashion and lifestyle be with you.